The head coach at San Diego State. It is Rocky Long. Coach, welcome into the program.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you having me on.
Great to have you on the show. Coach, last time I chatted with you was at Mountain West Media Days. You're off to a 3-1 start. Just got through the bye week, getting ready for TCU. Give me your evaluation on your team to this point this season.
I think we went in with some quality players in key positions, and they played really well. Our quarterback, Ryan Lindley, Ronnie Hillman, our running back, they've played really well except in one game. I thought we played well in the first game. I thought in the second game we gutted it out against Army, and then in the third game was probably our best game. We were down by 2 touchdowns to Washington State and came back and won. Then we went back and played Michigan, and Michigan was a little bit bigger and stronger up front than we anticipated, and we didn't play very well, and we came away with the loss. So we're happy that we're 3-1, but we're disappointed because we think we could be 4-0.
What was your focus this past week during the bye?
For us to get better and to keep us at game speed. We went 1s against 1s, 2s against 2s, and then we scrimmaged everybody else. So it was full speed work against each other.
Back on September 24th, Coach, your team got to go to the Big House, had an opportunity to play in front of a crowd of over 100,000. Didn't get the result you wanted, but your team, your players, did you guys enjoy that experience of playing in one of the most hallowed grounds of college football?
I don't think we enjoyed it at all. I think we went back there with an attitude that we had a chance to win. I think the hype of the game with Brady Hoke being there and Michigan and the 110,000 people, I think that took our focus away a little bit, so we didn't play as well as we could. And whenever you lose a game, it doesn't matter where you're playing. If you lose, it's not any fun.
Was that an added challenge preparing for that game and going up a guy who was the head coach of your very football team just a season earlier?
I think they had some advantages. I think they knew our team better than we knew their team, but I thought if we'd had the right focus and played well, that it would have been a close game, and whenever it's a close game, you got a chance to win.
Your senior quarterback, Ryan Lindley, a guy that a lot of NFL scouts are keeping an eye on right now and a very highly touted player coming into the start of the season. Your thoughts on Ryan's play thus far?
I think Ryan is having a good year. He doesn't have quite the supporting cast he had last year. He had 2 wide receivers last year that had great years that are now both playing in the NFL. So he's working with some young, inexperienced receivers. We have some good tight ends that he's using. He's using our running backs out of the backfield, so that the offense is not quite the same as it was last year. We don't have the big play potential that we had in the passing game. So he's doing a great job adjusting to that. He's the leader of our football team, and he's having a good year.
Rocky Long, he's the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs. They have a home date with TCU coming up this Saturday at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. Coach, you mentioned your running back, Ronnie Hillman, a little bit earlier. 6 consecutive games going over 100 yards, the Mountain West Freshman of the Year a season ago. Talk about his development, what you've seen out of him thus far this year, and how he continues to add more and more to your offense.
Everybody knows he's a really good player. I think this year he is about 10 pounds heavier and stronger than he was a year ago. Has not lost any quickness or speed. So he's pushing piles now, and he's breaking some arm tackles that he didn't last year. He still has a great vision. He still has a great change of direction and quickness and speed. And as long as the big guys up front can give him a crack or two, he's having a good time.
Coach, let's take a look defensively. Leon McFadden, your cornerback, he's the one that gets all the attention. He's the one that scouts are really looking at. But Larry Parker, 3 interceptions. The play of your secondary in general, and Larry Parker specifically, has he been a surprise?
Well, we lost the other starter opposite Leon was a guy named Josh Wade, and Larry was going to play a lot, but Larry was the backup for both corner spots. Josh Wade got hurt in camp and is out for the year, so Larry became the starter. And I think Larry played maybe a little timid early on. There's a couple of teams here lately that have challenged him. They've put a lot of balls over there, see if he can react. He's done a great job of reacting the right way, made some big-time plays, and is earning a reputation for himself.
Brady Hoke, defensive head coach, you yourself, defensive head coach. Now that you have taken over as the head coach, what have you changed really on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we haven't changed anything really. I mean, I'm still involved with the defense. We're still running the same scheme. I think we've got really good linebackers. Our secondary is playing well. Where we're really struggling right now is up front in the defensive line. We only have 2 seniors up there. Everybody else is sophomores or younger. We're playing some true freshmen up there, and when you play young guys up front, you have good days and bad days, and so we're struggling with pass rush. We're struggling stopping the run. So we're not playing as good as we'd like to.
Coach, you get ready for TCU coming to town this week. They have been the class of the Mountain West Conference for the last several years. Already 2 losses thus far this year. What's different about TCU this year that you've seen on film versus the last few years?
Well, I don't think anything's different other than they don't have quite the experience they've had the last 2 years. They had a lot of juniors and seniors on the last 2 teams. Now they're a little bit younger. They're just as talented. They're just as fast. They're just as skilled. They're just as talented. They play hard. I think the 2 games they've lost, they've run into 2 offenses that are really, really good, and so it's been a scoring fest on both sides of the ball, and they've been outscored. I have great respect for them and their coaches, and they always seem to play better after they lost. The Air Force found that out a couple of weeks ago, so we're nervous about this game. Yeah,
Air Force certainly did. We're talking to Rocky Long, the head coach at San Diego State. The Aztecs will host TCU this week. Coach, your first conference game of the season, and as you now enter conference play, taking a look around the league, do you get the sense that this year the Mountain West is just Boise State and everyone else is playing for second place? What are your thoughts on the league to this point?
If you're going just off the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, I would say Boise, obviously, it looks like the class of the league, like they're better than the rest of us. Now, I think that will change once they get into conference play, but obviously right now that's the way it looks. I think TCU is by far the next best team in our league, and then everybody else is about the same. So when you play those 2 guys, if you want to compete for the championship, you're going to have to play really, really well and find a way to win. And then I think the rest of us will beat on each other, and I think the rest of us, it'll be close games, there'll be exciting games, and if you're lucky enough to stay healthy, you might win a few of them.
Coach, you were the head coach at New Mexico from 1998 to 2008. You were the all-time leader in Mountain West coaching wins until Gary Patterson took that away from you. But, after a couple of years as a defensive coordinator, now back in the head coaching seat, is it fun for you to be a head coach again? Are you enjoying this?
I enjoy some of it. Obviously, there's a lot of things about it you don't enjoy because you're in this business to coach and coach kids and game plan and all that. So I'm still doing some of that. And then obviously the head coaching thing is fun, parts of it, and other parts are just work. But I'm used to it. It's not a surprise. It's not a shock. I knew it was coming.
How much at this stage of your career do you still enjoy going out to practice every day?
That's the most fun part of the day. That's what you got into it for. I mean, the only thing better than coaching on the field is playing, and obviously we all get too old to do that, but the most fun part of the day is when you're actually on the practice field.
Rocky Long is the head coach at San Diego State. Again, they got TCU on Saturday. Going to be a good one. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Really do appreciate it. And, hey, best of luck this week against the Horned Frogs.
All right, I appreciate the call. Thanks.